Hi, how are you guys? I'm so glad to be here and I hope you're excited to learn something new today. Welcome to the Spirit Guide Show. This week we will be talking about how to improve your clairvoyant abilities to see your spirit guides. So not hear them, not feel them, not know that they're there, but see them. And I know this is something you guys are probably excited about, so let's get started. By the end of the show, you will know what a clairvoyance exactly is. You will know how it works. You will know how to know if you are clairvoyant, and you will know how to use clairvoyance to connect with your spirit guides. But first, let me know if you guys can hear me and see me. That would be awesome, so I know I'm actually reaching you and not just talking to myself. That would be great. So let me know in the chat, please. Thanks, Jared. Awesome. You can see me and hear me. Thank you. All right, so then that's the first part. We will be talking about clairvoyance. The second part will be mini readings. So I will do spirit guide readings for anyone who's never had a spirit guide reading from me before. And then there will be a third part where we will do Q&A. So if you have questions about clairvoyance or anything else to do with spirit guides, you can ask me. But before we get started with all of that, my name is Yamile Yemoonyah. That's how you pronounce my name, Yamile Yemoonyah. And I'm a spirit guide medium, which means I can connect other people with their spirit guides. So I can see, sense, feel, hear other people's spirit guides and give you the messages your guides have for you. I'm also a Hay House author. I'm writing a book right now for Hay House, which is super exciting and a lot of work. And I'm the founder of Spirit Guide Society, which I will be telling you more about over the next few weeks and months because that's brand new. And you can find me at thespiritguidemedium.com, just in case someone has never seen my website before. Here it is. Also, yes, Hero's here. Awesome. Hi, Hero. He always helps me out. And yeah, he wants to know where you guys are from. So let me know. So Yolanda says she's from Indiana. Hi, Yolanda. Susan says awesome. I'm not sure why, but awesome. Jared is from Santa Monica, California. Hi, Jared. Susan is from Kansas. Rashad is from Northern Illinois. Louise is from Kuala Lumpur. Awesome. Then we have Annie from Austin and Cameron from Alberta. And Cameron is here quite often. Hi, Cameron. Oh, Susan says awesome about your Hay House deal. Thank you, Susan. Yes, that's pretty awesome. So where am I? Where am I? I have my notes so I don't forget anything, and now I got confused. Right, so let me know in the chat, have you ever seen like a dead person, like your grandmother or a neighbor or someone else, someone you knew that already passed away, or that you saw that person and then you heard that they had passed away exactly at that moment that you saw them or before? Or have you ever seen like a nature spirit, like a fairy or a gnome or something like this? Or have you ever seen an angel? Or have you ever seen twinkling lights or like shadows, like shadow people, or something that's moving out of the corners of your eyes? Let me know in the chat and let me know what it was. I'm curious. Jared says, I can only hear, lost the video. Can you other guys see me? That would be great. Okay, Susan says she can see me. Awesome. If you have trouble, like just reload the page. That usually solves the problem. Jared says I can feel too. Awesome. And Yolanda says you can hear me, you can see me, but not hear me. That is so weird. Okay, guys, just reload the page. Let me type that so for the people. Give me one sec. Okay, so Annie says, yes, I often see things out of the corners of my eyes. I think my feeling and knowing is stronger. That could be, you could be more clairsentient or claircognizant. Rashad says, I think I've seen shadows. I remember seeing a shadow in my room. It ran up the wall. Yeah, totally possible. Cameron says, I've seen shadow people for as long as I can remember. I've also seen many of my past loved ones. Awesome, Cameron. Jared says, okay, reloaded and I can see here. Yay, awesome. All right, guys, so I can see lots of you have had like clairvoyant experiences, because that's what it is when you see things that other people might not be able to see, or if other people think like you missed it a little bit. That's clairvoyance, when you see things. So the thing is also, you can see things in 3D or only in your mind's eye. Both are just as valid. I want to stress that point. Just because you see it with your mind's eye doesn't mean that you're making it up. Most mediums, psychics, shamans, and all the other labels that we give people that can do these things do not see spirits outside of themselves. It can happen. It has happened to me a few times in my life, but when I do readings, I usually, in 99.9% of the times, see the spirit guides in my third eye, in my mind's eye. And that's true for like everyone, almost everyone. So don't dismiss it when you see things with your third eye, but we will talk about that a little bit later. Also, while let me check if there were more people that had experiences. Hi, Michelle, welcome. No, not yet. Okay. If also, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, check the description box. There's a link. Click the link and come on over here to Crowdcast or to my website, because only here will I be able to give you mini reading or answer your questions later. Okay, so let's get started. What exactly is clairvoyance? So let me first tell you about the 6 clairs. And if you've watched the Spirit Guide show before, like the last few times, we've talked about the different clairs, and I've explained it a little bit, but bear with me so I can explain it again for like anyone who's new here. So just like we have 5 physical senses, like hearing, smelling, etc., feeling, tasting, we also have 6 psychic senses. And yes, we all have them, like all of us. Like, doesn't matter who. Michelle has it, Annie has it, Yolanda has it, Jared has it. We all have these psychic senses. We just use them subconsciously because no one told us we had them and how to use them. So it kind of like happens just like your heart beats by itself with you having to tell it to do so. The same happens for your psychic senses. We have claircognizance. We talked about that last week. So that's clear knowing. You just know things. There's clairaudience, which is clear hearing, which means you hear things. There's clairsentience, which means clear feeling. So you feel things, either emotionally or physically. There's clairscent, which means clear smelling. So you smell things. There's clairgustance, which means clear tasting. You taste things. So the last 2 are not very common. So let me explain these really quick. Clairscent, for example, if you suddenly smell your grandmother's perfume, but she has passed, and this is the perfume she always wore, and it reminds you of her, that's clairscent. Clairgustance could be if your grandmother loved baking cookies and you suddenly taste the cookies, even though you haven't had these cookies in a long time because, again, she has passed. That's clairgustance. And that can be a sign just from your grandma who's there and says hello. And she like gets your attention through like these smells or tastes. And then there is clairvoyance, which is probably like the most famous of all. I'm betting that everyone here has heard about clairvoyance, but maybe not about the other ones. Is there anyone who's never heard about clairvoyance? Let me know in the chat. Annie says, Okay, heck yeah, I see things in my mind's eye all the time, not as often in 3D. Exactly, and that's totally normal. That's just as valid. Jared says, I think I have claircognizance and clairsentience. Yes, that's totally possible. My main one is claircognizance and then clairvoyance. So clairvoyance is the ability to visually receive intuitive information about an object, person, being, location, physical event, or anything else. Clairvoyance is what you might have experienced, like yourself, experienced as seeing, like we said earlier, angels, aliens, fairies, the future, like visions of the future, remote viewing, that you saw something that was going on the other side of the world or in the room next to you, flashes of light, shadow beings, auras, if you can see auras, that's clairvoyant, movement out of the corner of your eye, etc. And as I said earlier, there's objective clairvoyance, which means you see things outside of yourself, even though other people might not be able to see it, but it is outside of yourself. And subjective clairvoyance is when you see things in your own mind, with your mind's eye or third eye. Let me check the chat if you guys have questions. Okay, cool. How does clairvoyance work? Well, you might have experienced clairvoyance without even knowing it. And as I touched upon earlier, it's not as dramatic as portrayed in Hollywood movies. It's usually very, very subtle and usually happens in your mind's eye, subjective clairvoyance. It might even feel like you are making things up or imagining things. So you have to really pay attention. It can feel a bit like daydreaming, like when you're just sitting around in the sun and having, I don't know, like a cocktail and you're just daydreaming and like that you have these images in your mind. It's like that. Or it can be like watching a movie, like moving pictures inside your own head. And it can just last for like a second and then be gone, like this. So if you have like these images that are come like, and you have no idea what that was, and you're like, oh, what was that? Remember, this could be clairvoyance, so pay attention. It often happens even when your eyes are open. You don't have to close your eyes for it. I like to do it, but that doesn't mean that everyone has to do it. And you can either be born like a gifted clairvoyance, like you always had it and you always knew that you had it, or it can get activated through a spiritual awakening, or you can develop the skill through training and practice. And one important thing to remember is clairvoyant information is often symbolic, not literal. So if you have like an image of someone dying, just let's take an extreme example, it does not mean that that person is going to die. Not necessarily. So if you see something like this, do not freak out. Usually, again, in 99.9% of the cases, it only means this person is going through a transformation. There's something ending, something new is beginning. It's symbolic. And that's true for most or a lot of the things that you see clairvoyantly. So when I do readings, I don't always know if it's literal or symbolic, and I will just ask the person that I'm reading for, and I will just say in the beginning, like, when I get clairvoyant images, sometimes it's literal, sometimes it's symbolic. So I will ask you, do you understand this? Does this make sense to you? And then the person will say yes or no, and then we can like get to the message that's behind it, because I don't always know. Where am I? Right. Also, clairvoyant symbols do not mean the same thing to everyone. Just like dream symbolism. Yes, you can go online and look it up and see what other people think it means, but in the end, it comes down to what it means to you personally. Because the thing is, like, especially if it's like another being communicating with you through clairvoyance, they know like you, they have access to your personality, especially your spirit guides. So they know that a rose to you might not mean eternal love, but it might mean heartbreak. Or maybe it reminds you of your grandmother because your grandmother loved red roses. So it's different for every person. So you have to basically practice clairvoyance until you understand the symbolism. And that's very personal. You can't, like, it's not the same for Susan or Jared. It's just different. So clairvoyance images should be interpreted by what it means to you, not to anyone else. You can look it up for inspiration, but in the end, it comes down to you. Let me check the chat. Michelle says, I used to feel I was daydreaming. Now it's more subtle. Yes, the older we become, the more subtle it gets, because we're so busy with the outside world that we don't pay attention to like the clairvoyant images that we receive. She also says, I've been seeing angel numbers lots. Yes, lots of people see angel numbers. Although I'm convinced they're not just about angels. That's we associate these numbers with angels because of Doreen Virtue mostly. And she's absolutely right. Like, they can be sent by angels, but they can also be sent by other types of spirit guides. They can also be sent by your past loved ones. They can be sent by nature spirits, by animal spirits. Any kind of spirit can use numbers to communicate with you. Rashad says, yeah, I think I've had a few experiences recently. I've woken up from naps and deep sleep with images in my mind just moments before I open my eyes. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Because when we're just falling asleep or just waking up, that's when our rational mind is like not filtering everything. So it's easier for the images to come through. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I'm not sure, sorry. Says, I've seen my spirit guide once last year and have felt his presence around me at times. I know and feel intuitively that he is very fixated and intent on wanting to transmit knowledge or a message to me. Yet I find it so difficult to connect or hear him. How can I nurture this relationship more? Or maybe I've been connecting, but in ways I don't recognize easily with my mind. I'm just not aware. Exactly. That's what it is. And that's always what it is when people ask me, like, I can't connect. Yes, you do connect all the time. It's just that you don't recognize it because of expectations. Like, we have expectations of how it should look like when our spirit guides connect with us. And our expectations are mostly set by Hollywood movies. So we watch movies about mediums, or we watch shows about mediums or psychics or like scary stuff or whatever it is. And in these movies, it's always very clear. They're always outside of us. They're like, the person can see the face of that other person or spirit. It's not like that. It's much, much, much more subtle. And you have to pay attention to the subtle messages that you get, be they clairvoyant, claircognizant, whatever it is. They're subtle. And you, the more you train yourself, the more practice, the easier it is for you. That's why I keep saying, guys, you have to practice. This is not like a one-time thing. It's just like any other skill that you're trying to learn. Some of us are more talented, some of us maybe not so much, but all of us can do it. All of us can talk to our spirit guides. And when I say talk, I mean like use any of the clairs to communicate. You just need to practice. Just like you go to the gym, or just like you practice like learning a second language or a third one, or just like you practice running or whatever it is you do, painting. It doesn't happen in one day. Anyway, I went off on a tangent. So how to know if you are clairvoyant? People who are naturally clairvoyant or have trained to become clairvoyant are oftentimes visual people. They have a great sense of direction because they can visualize where they are. They're oftentimes daydreamers. they have a vivid imagination, or at least they have been told that they have a vivid imagination. They're oftentimes interested in art, interior design, graphic design, fashion, etc. They appreciate beautiful things. They have vivid dreams at night, usually in color. They find it easy to visualize places, people, and objects. So if I tell you to close your eyes and visualize an apple, that's easy for you if you are naturally clairvoyant. They can sometimes see auras. They have random mental images flash before their eyes. Like we talked about earlier, like suddenly it's there and then it's gone. They might see flashes of color, numbers, symbols, or images. Again, numbers, angel numbers. And they need a lot of alone time. And this is true for like anyone who's very sensitive, but I wanted to mention it anyway. This is because if you are highly sensitive and you get a lot of information from the outside, be it from other people, be it from like your surroundings, be it from other realms, you are bombarded like with information all the time. And so you need to spend time alone to like cleanse yourself. And if you're a sensitive person, it's imperative that you take that time for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to burn out. And you don't even know why. Like a lot of people feel like super tired, super burned out, and they don't understand why. Because it's not because they are super active or running around all the time doing things. It's because they get so much information subconsciously that they don't understand. Now, question. Who recognizes themselves in this description? Type yes in the chat if you do, but also type no if you don't. There's no shame in not being clairvoyant. It could be that you're clairsentient, claircognizant, or one of the other clairs. Let me see. Michelle says she needs alone time. Yes. Cameron says, I go crazy if I don't have enough alone time. Yes, I totally agree. I'm the same. I can get really rude, to be honest, if I don't have enough alone time. Michelle says she recognizes herself in this description. Annie says yes. Yolanda says yes. Brittany says yes. Susan, a bit, yes, but my only experience has been dreams. Okay. Martha says I could easily be a recluse. Yes. I still don't know how to pronounce your name. Is that an L-I-Y? Lee? I'm just going to call you Lee. Sorry if that's not really your name. But Lee says yes. Jared says, I'll see the image of an animal and then look up the meaning in a dream dictionary, but I don't know if that counts. Of course, if you see images, it doesn't matter of what. It really doesn't matter of what. If you have these images and you have like at the same time this intuitive feeling that there's more to it than just like being a daydream, then yes, that's totally valid. Rashad says, yeah, I get very moody if I don't get some alone time. Exactly, yes. Cameron says, I'd say 50-50 for me in the description. I definitely am, but it's not my strongest clair. Yes, wait, that's also something that you guys need to know. Like you can have more than one clair. It's not like I'm clairvoyant, so I can be claircognizant. You can have like all of it. We actually do use all of it, but most of us have one or two main clairs, just like we use one of our normal senses more than the others. Like most of us are more visual than anything else, but some other people are more like auditory, like people that love music, for example. But it doesn't mean they can't see. they just like focus on the hearing more than others. Oh, it's pronounced as Lee. Yes, okay, I did it right. Woohoo. Yolanda, I'm grateful for you sharing how to develop gifts. I think I'm more than one clair. Yes, most of us are. So then you need to practice all of them. Like the ones with one, then add another, add a third one, and pick the ones that you like best. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and I'll talk about the 3 ways to connect with your spirit guides through clairvoyance. So like all the other clairs, clairvoyance can be used to connect with your spirit guides. And just like any other skill, clairvoyance needs practice. And I know I've said this like 3 times already over the last hour, and I will keep saying it because so many people just like do one spirit guide meditation and it doesn't work out and they think they don't have one. You wouldn't believe how many emails I get from people who ask me like, can it be that I don't have a spirit guide? Could it be that my spirit guide left me? Could it be that my spirit guide doesn't like me anymore? No, they're always there. They're always with you. Everyone has a spirit guide. You just need to like practice to connect with them. All right, so even if you have a natural talent for it, you still need to practice. So try the following 3 exercises repeatedly. Don't give up if it doesn't work right away. So exercise number 1 is try a flower visualization. So this works the following way. You buy a flower or you find one outside or you go sit next to one, which would be my favorite because I'm not a fan of killing a flower just so our house is more prettier, but that's just me. So, and then you study it for a few minutes, like really look at it. Oh, like my sunflower here. This is a fake one. But so you can like, you study it and look at all the little details. Every little details, like every petal, every like the stem, everything. The different colorings, all of it. Then you close your eyes. And then you recreate the flower in your mind's eye. So you basically imagine the flower. Oops, my light went out. Give me 1 sec. Oh, not sure what happened. We will have to do without the light. And then you basically recall every single detail that you remember from actually watching, looking at the flower. Then you relax and ask your spirit guides to let the image of the flower morph into something else that they want to show you. So you relax, you take a deep breath, you ask your guide to let the flower morph into another image that they want to show you. Do not ask them for any messages. You're not there yet. Just relax, and if your like logical mind starts freaking out and saying like, oh, I'm imagining this, or I'm scared, or whatever it is, go to like take a deep breath, focus on your breath a little bit until you relax again, and then do it again. Visualize the flower, ask your guides to let it morph into another image. If it doesn't make sense, doesn't matter. If you don't understand the message, doesn't matter. Just accept what you get. Yeah, don't dismiss anything. It's all part of the message. Like even if you think it's just a memory and that's like coming in, accept it as like the message. If it's a daydream, accept it as the message, just for now. Even if you think, oh, I just dozed off and had like a weird mini dream, accept it as the message. If you think you're imagining it or making it up, accept it as like the message, just for now. Even if it doesn't make sense to you, even if it's like something scary, remember, you're just practicing. This is not like anything that's gonna like have a huge effect on you. Your spirit guide is not going to send you something super important because they know that you're just practicing. Then once you got something, it doesn't matter if it's just like one tiny thing or if it's like a whole story and a whole message, write it down. Like open your eyes again, come back into the room, write down what you got. And I'm telling you to write it down because otherwise your analytical mind is going to explain it all away. Like it's going to jump in and say, oh, you just imagined it. Oh, you just made that up. Oh, that was just a daydream. Oh, that was just something you remembered. It has nothing to do with the exercise. You did it all wrong. You're not good enough. You don't have a spirit guide. Whatever, like your ego is. If you write it down right after the exercise, your analytical mind can like have a field day after, but only after you wrote it down. Okay, let me check this chat. Faisa asks, how can I see clearly my spirit guides and communicate with them? Well, that's exactly what I'm explaining. Like, you have to like practice, practice, practice. And these are 3 exercises that you can use to start practicing. And then you take one little step at a time. Just like you don't run a marathon, decide like, oh, I want to run a marathon, and tomorrow you run one. That's not how it works. You need to take one tiny step at a time. And at some point, you will see your guides. But also, what I have to say is like, not everyone is going to see like a full-blown image of their guides, and you don't need to. There are very, very famous mediums that have never seen their guides, that only see them as a light, like a star, or that only like feel them. They just feel a wave of love, or they just know that they are there, like claircognizant, or they just hear them. So you don't always have to see them for it to be real or for you to be able to communicate with them. Again, it's these expectations. To dial it back a little bit, and the main thing is that you find a way to communicate with them. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter if you see them or hear them or feel them or any way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if you know their name. You can talk to the person that's sitting next on the bus to you, right, without knowing their name. You don't have to know their family history, their name. You don't have to know what kind of job they have. Nothing. You can just talk to them. And even if there was a wall between you and another person and you would never see them, you could still talk to them, right? And it's the same thing. You don't need to have the entire picture of who they are, where they lived in their past lives, what type of spirit guide they are. You can just like, even if you get one tiny detail from them, like I said, some people just feel a wave of love when they're around, and that's good enough. You know, okay, oh, there's a wave of love. That's my spirit guide. Now I can talk to them. All right, let's see. Michelle says, thank you, as I feel the same with all clairs. Thank you for info. You're very welcome, Michelle. Raisa says, because every second the sparks are with me, even with my closed eyes. Well, there you go. That's the thing, is like your guides usually send you a sign when they're around. And that's how you recognize them. And that could be visual. That could be just that you know. That could be like auditory. It could be all kinds of things. It could be a feeling. Maybe your hand gets tingly. Or like there's this famous medium, Lisa Williams. When spirit is around her, her nose starts running. That's super weird, but that's how she knows that that spirit is around. Okay, let's see. All right, guys, I have to get through the other 2 exercises, so then we can do the mini readings, and then you can ask me more questions, all right? So exercise number 2, dream journal. Keep a dream journal, especially if you're one of the people that have like very vivid dreams. This one is for you. So before you go to sleep tonight, ask your guides to connect with you in your dreams. And I say tonight because I want you to do it tonight. Don't like say, oh yeah, I'll do it at some point. Do it tonight. Then tomorrow morning, write everything down that you remember from your dreams. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Like everything that you remember. Again, everything counts. Even if you think, oh, that wasn't important, or that was just like they say, like in our dreams, it's just like random stuff, and it's to write it all down, even if it doesn't make sense. Keep doing that for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you will start to recognize patterns and symbols that come back again and again. For example, red rose, an angel number, whatever it is, you will notice that it keeps coming back. And then you keep a separate list of these symbols and patterns. And then once you have like a few of them, or even just one of them, you ask your guides to show these symbols and patterns to you when you are awake. So let's say you're driving down the highway and you see the red rose. And pay attention, like usually if it's really your guides talking to you, you will feel it. You will intuitively know it's your guides. Even if, again, like your analytical brain comes in and says like, oh, you're making that up. That first second, you know, trust that. So, and when that happens and you see the rose and you know, oh, that's my spirit guides, you pay attention. Why did you get that symbol? If it means like your grandmother, maybe your grandmother is around and wants to talk to you. Or maybe she always told you not to drive too fast. So your grandmother is there and is basically showing you the rose to remind you, don't drive too fast. And then we have exercise number 3, which is visualize your spirit guide. And this is something most of you have probably tried before. It's like a visualization meditation. You close your eyes, you relax your body, relax your mind. You visualize a beautiful place, could be in nature or anywhere else, whatever like speaks to you. And then you let your spirit, soul, astral body, whatever you want to call it, get up from where you are sitting while you're doing that meditation. So your physical body is still sitting on the chair or wherever you're sitting, but you let your like spirit get up. So you visualize yourself getting up. You enter that beautiful place. Let's say it's in nature, you go there. And then you take in all the details, like the objects, the plants, the colors, the weather, the floor, the sky, the walls, whatever it is that you see. Like really pay attention to the details. And then you will visualize someone walking towards you. And the closer they come, the better you can see them. Then really pay attention. Start with the feet, not with the face. Because we're usually too anxious about seeing their face and we freeze up and we're too anxious about it. So start with the feet. So look at their feet. Are they barefoot? Do they wear like socks? Do they wear shoes? What kind of shoes? What kind of socks? If they're an animal, do they have hooves? How many toes do they have? Whatever, like what color is their skin? Look at the details, and then like work your way up the legs and so forth until you look at the face. And then look at their eyes, what kind of hair they have, their hands, paws. And once they're like close enough to you, then you just give them a hug, because then you try it, and this is where clairsentience comes in. You want to feel their energy, and hugging someone is always good to feel someone's energy. And then don't ask for a message. Thank them for coming. See if they have something to say, but don't ask anything. This is the first time you're doing this, or maybe the second or third time, but again, expectations. Don't ask them super important question at this point. That's for later. Just practice. See if they have something to say. If not, that's totally fine. Thank them again. Say goodbye. Go back to like your physical body where you are, in the room that you're sitting or outside. Take a deep breath. Merge yourself with your physical body again. Open your eyes when you're ready. Write everything down. So these are the 3 exercises. I'll repeat them real quick, just like so you remember. Exercise 1 is the flower visualization. Exercise 2 is the dream journal. And exercise 3 is visualize your spirit guide. So which of these did you like best? And which of these are you going to try? You're getting homework here, in case you can't tell. So I want you to pick one of these and do them. And let me know in the chat, which one did you like best? Which one are you going to try? Just type 1, 2, or 3, or the name of the. And once you did your exercise, send it a DM on Instagram and let me know, because I'm curious. And here's my Instagram link. Let me know. A little bit of accountability here. So Martha says, no, wait. Oh God, you guys are awesome. Yolanda says she's going to try the visualization. Brittany says dream journal. I dream a lot. Awesome. Then that's definitely the right exercise for you. Martha says number 2. Susan says number 2. Annie says number 3. Rashad wants to do 2 and 3. Oh, he already does 2 and 3 sometime. Awesome. Lee says, I'm definitely going to try the flower one. Awesome. Raisa says 2 and 3. Michelle says 1. Thank you. You're very welcome, Michelle. Veselka says 2 and 3. Cameron says 1. Rashad says, I even remember some things from my dream last night. Awesome. Write it down. And Jared says, I've done number 2. So Jared, which one are you going to try now if you've done number 2 already? Pick one that you like, 1 or 2, 1 or number 3. All right, so let's see what time it is. We're totally over time. What are we going to do? I think we're going to answer questions first. No, we're going to do mini readings. And I'll just, let's see. We might go a little over time today. What should I do first? Mini readings or questions? I'll let you decide. So let me know in the chat. What do you want to do? Mini readings or Q&A? Just type it in. Readings. Okay, we will do readings. Okay. Well, 3 people say readings, 1 says Q&A. So we'll do readings, and then I'll do a few Q&As later. So if you have the time to stay around a little bit longer. All right, so readings. All right, so here's how this works. If you want a mini reading, I want you to find the Ask a Question section. And you only get a mini reading if you've never had one before, just so we're clear. Go to the Ask a Question section. If you're on your laptop, it's like right down here. It says Ask a Question. And type in newbie. Like no other questions, nothing else. I don't want to know your name, where you're from, nothing. Just newbie, so I can quickly find you. And in the meantime, while you do this, there are a few things that you need to know before you can do the mini readings. I have my definition of spirit guides. And just so we're on the same page, my definition is that any kind of being from the higher realms that is connected to us in unconditional love and wants to help us on our spiritual path or in day-to-day life is a spirit guide. And there are 7 types of spirit guides. Angels, ancestors, the ones that you might have known, but also the ones that are way further back, and also people that you loved that have passed. Even if they were younger, they still count as ancestors because they took the next step before you. Nature beings like elves, fairies, gnomes, etc. Star beings, otherwise known as aliens, but I like to call them star beings because they're not like in scary Hollywood movies. Ascended masters, deities, so gods and goddesses, and animal spirits. 7 types of spirit guides. We all have a team of guides, so the one who has the most important message will step forward. That might be a different one from the ones that you want to step forward or the ones that you might know. This might be a new guide. And then the third thing that's super important is you will get the message you need to hear, which might be different from what you want to hear or expect to hear. So you need to be a little bit open. All right, so let's see. Just checking the chat if there was anything. All right, I'm going to the Ask a Question section now, and I'm checking. All right, so I'm going to invite people on screen. That's how I do the readings. You will get an invite. You will see a little invite pop up, and you will have to accept the invite. And then you will pop up here on our screen, and I will do a reading for you. Do not do this if you don't want to be on screen, obviously. So I'm going to invite Yolanda. And I'm going to invite Annie. And I'll invite a few people at the same time. Sorry, there. I'm inviting Rashad. And Michelle. And I'll just keep going until someone comes up. And Monica. Guys, you have to accept the invite, otherwise you can't come up here. Still no one? Okay. Brittany. What is going on, you guys? Oh, I just saw someone. Yay, we have someone.
Hi.
Hi. How are you today? Can you hear me, Brittany? Hello? Brittany, can you hear me? Hello? Okay. I'm going to mute you for now, and I'll start with someone else. All right, we'll start with Michelle then. Let me unmute you. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. So let's see. Let me close my eyes, and it might take a few seconds. Wait, there's someone else that I can still hear. Yes, that's better. All right, I don't know yet who's here for you, but I'm already getting messages. What I do know is that you are someone who's very, actually you have like almost a dual personality. What I'm getting is like you're very open-minded, but at the same time, you're also someone who wants things done the way you like them done. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. I still can't clearly see who it is. Sometimes that happens. Like I already get the messages and I still don't know who's there. And the message that I get for you is that you're like, the word that I hear is hybrid. And that's a very weird word, but what I'm getting is that you are someone, you are made almost as if you're two different like personalities, or like come from two very different families, like lineages that have very different personality types, talents, and that comes together in you, or almost like you have two different cosmic origins. That's okay. So, and the being that is telling me all this is a star being, so otherwise known as alien. This one doesn't have like a gender as we humans do. It doesn't. It says no, we don't have that. It's definitely, it shows itself like one of these grays, so a little bit like Hollywood, but not scary. But so with like definitely a bigger head, smaller body, long legs, and long arms, long fingers. And it's saying that it connects with you and communicates with you telepathically. So it says mostly through clairgustance. So basically you know things. You have like a gut feeling. You just know. You get like downloads and insights, and it's not like you hear it or you see it. It's just suddenly there. Would you understand that?
Yes, I would.
Okay. I want to say this being is connected to the star system Sirius. I'm not 100% sure, but pretty sure. So maybe Google that, like Google Sirius star seeds. Like and see what they have to say, other people that are connected to Sirius, and see if that speaks to you.
It does speak to me.
Okay. And its message is it's mainly about like being yourself, not worrying about other people thinking that you are a bit crazy, or that they whatever. Like if it's really bad that they talk about behind your back, just be yourself. Just like let your freak flag fly, and know that you inspire others because you are exactly the way you are.
Yeah, I've been told that.
Awesome. Then here you get the message again. And find people that like accept you the way you are. That's super important. Go out there, find others that are just like you, that are just as like eccentric and crazy as you are, and love you just the way you are.
I'm working on that one.
Yeah. So that's important, because otherwise we just like feel lonely if we don't have anyone who loves us for who we are, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, try some new things. Get out there. Go to some meetups, like on meetup.com or something like that, to get to know more new people that have similar interests. Yeah, and I think that's it for today.
Thank you so much. It really did click. Yeah, honestly, thank you.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest
so much.
of your day, and thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
All right, so let's see if we can hear Brittany now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Yay. Yes, I can hear you. It worked. Awesome. All right, so let me close my eyes and see. All right, the first being that comes through is an angel. And this one is like, she doesn't look like a typical angel. She looks like a businesswoman. She has wings, but she has she's wearing a business suit. And by now I know, talking about symbols earlier, by now I know that when an angel appears in a business suit, they usually want to talk about work. So let's see what she has to say. Oh, but like the business suit is all white. That's usually how they do it, all white. Angels love white. She's also wearing like high heels, white ones. She has, I'm not sure, like she keeps changing her hair color from blonde to black, and I'm not sure why, but she has longer hair. She has like, it's like straight here, and then it becomes a little curly here. Let's see, sometimes they do these weird things, like changing something about their appearance, and then it makes sense later, so we'll see. But she definitely wants to talk about work. And I want to say, if I understand her correctly, this is about either like that you've been thinking about switching jobs, that you did actually just switch jobs, or that you want to start your own business. One of these three. Would you understand that?
I want to start a new business.
Okay, awesome. Let me see what she has to say about that. She says self-confidence. I asked her what her message was, and that was her answer, like one word, self-confidence. She says it's very, very important for you to believe that you can do it. Otherwise, it's never going to happen. It's very important for you that you take the first steps instead of just dreaming about it, even if it's just writing things down, like what steps could you take over the next 3 months? Write it all down, write it all out, and then sort it so it makes sense. Make a to-do list. Put the things that you need to do to make it happen on your calendar so you actually make time for it. go meet the people that can help you making your dream come true. Go to, like, same topic, go to real life or online meetups where there are people that have done what you want to do. So you can be inspired, ask them for help, etc.
Okay.
Read the books. Read a book about how to start that kind of business that you want to start. Make some decisions, just as an example. Should it be online or offline? And she says, work on like the mindset. That's very important. That's why she's like showing me again, like the business suit that she's wearing. It's very nice, by the way. She says like, dress the part. Not that you have to like go and buy a white business suit. That's not what she's saying. But like imagine the person that you want to be in 5 years from now. And then start being that person. Like wear the things that that person would wear. Say the things that that person would say. Have the kind of friends that person would have. Think the kinds of thoughts that person would have. And that's how you start manifesting your dreams instead of just having it all in your head. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, a lot.
Okay, awesome. Let's see if she has anything else. And she says, really do it.
Okay.
She's a little bit like a taskmaster. Like, go and do it. Don't just listen to this and then go on doing whatever you've been doing. Like, do it.
Okay.
And she wants me to give you a name. Hold on. It's not Sarah. Oh, yeah, it is Sarah, but like S-A-R-A, no H.
Okay.
And she says, yeah, she's your cosmic business mentor. So if you need help with that, you can talk to her.
Okay.
And she says, it's not just like that I'm like telling you to do everything. And this is important because this is not just about you. This is not just about making your life nice and fun. This is about like the people that you are going to serve with your business. So see that responsibility and take it on.
Okay.
Because you are the only one who can do what you came here to do. No one else can do that. If you don't do it, then no one's going to do it, ever. Because you are the only person. Yeah, you are the only you. There is no one else, never has been, never will be. She's kind of funny. Like, she's very strict in a sense, but she's kind of funny. She's looking at you like, did you get that? So yeah, I think that's it for now.
Okay.
So yeah, go do your thing, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I hope this helps you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
All right. So let me see what time it is. I know we only did 2 mini readings, but it's already like 7:30. Here it's 6:30. So I'm going to do some Q&A questions now, and then next time I'll spend more time on the readings. If you have questions, even if I asked them before, because like it's too much to go through all the chat, now go to the Ask a Question section again and type in your question. The same Ask a Question section that you just typed in, newbie, ask your question there, please. Destiny, did I miss it again? I don't know when you came in, but I think you did. You have to come 1 hour earlier. All right. Kim asks, what are your thoughts about energy orbs? I have one on video. The incident occurred during a high vibrational moment. I have never encountered one before. Have you? I personally have never seen any, but I've seen them on video. People have sent them to me on video to ask me what it was. I think they're energy beings could be angels, could be other kinds of energy beings that are showing themselves because there's a high vibrational energy. All spirit guides, and this is why you won't usually see them like in 3D. They are on a different vibrational level. Doesn't mean it's better, it's just different. So they're here, we are here, and if you want to see them, you have to come together to the same vibrational level. Otherwise, you obviously can't see each other. It's just like you live in a blue ray and they live in a red ray. It's different frequencies. You can't see what's going on in the red ray if you're in the blue ray. So you have to come together to the green one. I'm just making it up, but just so you understand. So if you already have a situation where it's high vibrational because you meditated or something like this, then it's easier for them to show themselves. And orb is an easy way to show yourselves as an angel or another spirit guide. It's much easier than like manifesting in like full flesh. So that's what I think it is. All right, anyone else? Oh yeah, questions. Susan says she once connected me to a nature spirit, Connie, I remember, but now we're moving. I'm wondering whether she will come with me or is tied to the place I live in now. Let me check in. No, she's going to be with you. She's going to be with you. So don't worry about that. She says there's also, there are some nature spirits at your old place that are actually tied to like the place, but there are also new ones at the new place. But you can always talk to her. That's not a problem at all. Then Daniel asks, hi, how do I differentiate from my own thoughts and guidance from my guides? So when it comes to clairvoyance, it's fairly easy because if you get a clairvoyant image from a guide, you can't change the image. However, if you are just making it up, so let's say you're making up like seeing an apple, then you can change it into a pear or an orange. But if it's coming from your guides, you can't change it. So that's one good way to see. The other one to know the difference is pay attention to your feeling, your intuition. So if it feels like something is going on, like something is of a spiritual nature, then it usually is. If it feels like you're making it up, then you're probably making it up. Just pay attention to your own intuition. What does your own intuition tell you? Trust your own intuition. Erica says, if you do not hear the message from your guide, will they keep trying? Why do you want to hear it? You could also just feel it or see it or just know it or smell it or taste it. If there is no really valid reason for you to necessarily want to hear it, then maybe that's not your main clair and you shouldn't focus on it. And then they will not try. If there's a really good reason why you need to hear them, then they will try again. Absolutely. Martha asks, is there a limit of how many spirit guides one may have? No, I don't think so. I think we all have a team of guides, and that like the number actually like changes because sometimes we're dealing with a situation in life that calls in this like a very specific guide. For example, you're going through a divorce, then you might have an angel come in who helps you with like the emotions that come with that divorce. And after you're like good again, that angel might leave and go help someone else. So it's like fluctuating. And then of course you have your core team who stay with you your entire life. Also, for example, let's say your grandpa dies and he joins your team because he was a great painter and you're also a painter and he wants to help you with your painting career. He's not one of your main guides because he was here like in 3D in the flesh, so he wasn't your guide when you were little. But he joined the team to help you with this specific thing. So I don't think there's a limit. Monica says, hi, newbie here. How do I know who my guide or angel is? That's a longer process. This is not like, if you want to come back to like the show, this is basically what I continue to talk about every single week, how to connect with your guides. And soon I will open the doors to Spirit Guide Society, which is completely just about me teaching you how to connect with your guides. But we will talk about that over the next few weeks. Can I give you a quick answer? What does your intuition say? Like, most of us have a feeling about who our guides could be. Maybe we are very much drawn to nature, and so then it could be a nature spirit. Maybe you're very drawn to a specific animal kind, then it might be that animal. Maybe you're very, you had a really intense, maybe not the right word, loving relationship with your grandmother who passed, then your grandmother could be one of your guides. Look at like the interests throughout your life. Maybe you were really drawn to one culture. Let it be Egypt, or let it be, I don't know, like something else. But all these things, like your interests, your personality, your talents, your skills, can all point to who your spirit guide is, because usually our guides have similar personalities as we do. That's why we work together. Or personalities, maybe not the right word. Similar frequency, similar vibration, similar characteristics, because that's why we attract each other. So if you look at yourself and your own life, you can oftentimes at least find out which type of guide you have. And if that isn't enough, like, you can also take my spirit guide quiz. If you haven't yet, let me type in the URL so you can take it. This is a quiz with 11 questions that asks you these kinds of questions that I just asked you, and will tell you what kind of spirit guide you have, which of the 7 types of spirit guides you have. And that's a like good starting point. And then from there, you can learn more. So give me one sec. So here's the URL. Go there, try that, and that takes you to the next step. All right. Monica says, okay, thank you, Archangel Michael or Hawks. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Brittany says, the quiz spirit guide was the same as my reading. Awesome, that's great. Yeah, of course, the quiz is not 100%. Like, no quiz with 11 questions can be always 100%, but I definitely did my best to make it as accurate as possible. All right, let's check the chat really quick if there was anything. I tried contacting my spirit guide. I did. Lee, sorry. Lee says, I tried contacting my spirit guide. I did, and it was calming, but it was just a black mass. Yeah, that's totally possible. Like I said, some people, even if they are professional mediums, psychics, shamans, whatever, they never saw their spirit guide fully, and there is no need to. As long as you know, okay, when I see the black mass, they're with me, that's totally fine. And just to make this clear, just because something is like a black mass does not mean that it's negative. Just to make that very clear. And I think I saw stars in it. Awesome. So that sounds very much like it could be a star being. Yeah, it could be a star being, because obviously they are connected to the stars. So if you like have an affinity for the stars, if you feel like if you like looking at the stars, and if you even like do astral travel, for example, or when you meditate, you feel like drawn like into the cosmos. These are all signs that like your spirit guide is a star being. Mhm. It started an hour earlier today? That is so weird. Hero says it started an hour earlier. I'm not sure why. Here it started at the same time. Did anyone switch times? I think we all already did that, right? Weird. I'll check that out. Martha says, thank you for this important information. Michelle says, I'm just so happy I'm not crazy. I really am so thankful for you sharing with me. Absolutely. But like, yeah, that is definitely one of the reasons why I'm doing this, because I know there are so many people out there that either think themselves that they're crazy or other people tell them that they're crazy. And we're not crazy. Of course we're not crazy. Like these kinds of phenomena happen all around the globe. It's just in the Western world where people are so like just focused on their rational brain and like ignore everything else, and try and tell everyone who has these kinds of experiences that they're crazy, that there's something wrong with them, that they're daydreaming, whatever it is. Honestly, this is one of my missions, to like tell you, every one of you, you're not crazy, just so you know. Yeah. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for coming. I had a lot of fun, like always. I hope to see you next week. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about. Also, we did the whole series now. So we did like clairvoyance, we did claircognizance, we did clairsentience, we did, what's the other one? I missed clairaudience. We did all 4 of these. If you want to see them, like I'll type in because you can still go back and see them. And I hope this is the right URL. It's crowdcast.com and then Yemoonyah. I hope this is correct. Yes, so there you can see all of them. You can rewatch them if you want to. And just catch up on all of them. And next time we'll start something else. So thanks again for coming. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.